So now let's look at how the Devil card may show up in a reading. So it can certainly show up when talking about addiction. So whether it's the person that you're reading for may be struggling with addiction themselves, or it could be a person that they know that is struggling with addiction. The Devil card will show up in this situation to highlight to the person where they may feel trapped by the thing that they are addicted to and how they may feel powerless to it. But it also can sort of shed light on the illusion too, because the Devil card can show us that it's firstly that we need to admit to the addiction itself and how it is problematic, and once we can do that, often the first stage of the recovery or the addiction being healed is to admit that you feel powerless over it, and that it's something that is taking over your life, and it's becoming, and it is a problem. And it's when we can do that that we then are able to then seek help, because we can't seek help for something until we see that it is a problem. And then when seeking help, we can start to see how we can break free from it, and just how much we were in that addictive lifestyle, even though we may have been in denial very much beforehand. So the Devil card can also show up to point out a toxic relationship that the person may be in, whether both parties are toxic, or whether it's just one side of the relationship and the other side is suffering. But it can show things like codependency in the relationship, manipulation, abuse, just controlling the other person. This again highlights entrapment. It would also highlight bondage and control, which the Devil cards stand for. But it also again shows that this is something that can be broken free from, that liberation from this is possible. This can also show up to speak about a person who is overly materialistic. Their focus is always on the material realm and greed and wealth. This could be leading to a huge imbalance in their life. So maybe other aspects of their life are suffering because everything is focused on materialism. So maybe their relationships are suffering, or self-care, and everything is just this kind of like an obsession as well. So it very much shows up when a person can become obsessed with things, maybe obsessed with having all the best clothes and or the best makeup, or and spending money sometimes as well that they don't have. Maybe they're getting into debt. But obsessions can also show up with people. So maybe obsessions are unhealthy obsessions with other people, and how it takes over your life. But it also sort of takes away from your own self-esteem, because you're placing another person in such high regard, even more so over yourself. Another way in which the Devil card has presented in readings before for me is when it wants to talk about a business person. So this could be indicating that the person that you're reading for is somebody who is in business or runs their own business, or it could be talking about a person in their life who is a business person. And this is usually because the Devil card will talk about materialism and ambition, and that drive to want to get to a certain point and won't let anything stop them or hold them back at kind of whatever cost, really, to whoever. So it can sometimes talk about that kind of sort of, I will get to where I need to be with my business at the expense of whoever or whatever, like that completely focused, obsessed or ambitious mindset, and without a care in the world for anything or anyone else. It's about getting to the end point to create the business that they desire, or to succeed in their business, and obviously then the material things that come with that, with having a business. It doesn't always obviously mean that I'm just pointing it out, because it is something that has come up a few times when I've done readings, where the devil card can be pointing towards the fact that this person has got a very much a business mindset, or they're in a place right now where they are very business orientated and will stop at nothing to achieve what it is they've set themselves out to achieve. It can show up in the workplace, maybe with an over controlling boss, somebody who's manipulative, maybe somebody who's very unfair, maybe abuse going on at work. It can show up if you're feeling trapped in a work situation, maybe something which is a real detriment to your health, a job that you're doing, whether that be physically or mentally, but you feel that you can't get out because you need the money and you've got to pay bills, but that again, it's causing an imbalance too, because then your physical health may be suffering for that. So it can show up to where you may be called to face your like kind of inner demons, so like your anxieties and your fears, any kind of limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns, anywhere where your way of thinking may be keeping you limited or restricted in your life. So it's important then to reflect on those things and see where that is coming from, what part of what is unhealed within you that needs to be looked at and healed, to release yourself from those negative mindset patterns and ways of thinking. And again, this is where the shadow work would come in, and why it's so important to do shadow work. And it's not just about connecting to the higher self and all the good stuff. It's important to go into the dark side too, and to see what could be causing the more negative, fear-based ways of thinking, and the things that are keeping us trapped. Overall, the devil card shows up really to highlight the areas of life where a person feels trapped or controlled, or maybe overly focused or obsessed on a situation, thing or person. It will often tell us that, you know, the things that are keeping us down and restricted are the things we can break free from, and that is the illusion side of this card. It helps us to recognise and confront these issues, and therefore then we can begin to claim our power back, to set ourselves free from them. And then obviously then make better choices for ourselves. It helps us to see ourselves as a priority, and how we are important, and sometimes how what we wouldn't ever do to another person, we do often do to ourselves, and we don't even realise we're doing those things to ourselves. But it highlights those areas for us. It makes us look at them, and it makes us do something about them, really, which sets us free and helps us to grow. So tomorrow I will be looking at the Tower card.